answer. Now, there's something that was pointed out by one of my Facebook viewers, Caroline Hernessy, and she said what happened before the debate began was very telling of the personalities of the candidates. She said, as the candidates were being called out on the stage, they called Christie first, which I thought was embarrassing, by the way. Why'd they do that? Who picked the order that they called the candidates? It was like a gladiator, like a Roman arena, calling them out of the back, out of the bowels of the... Then they forgot Ben Carson. They called him. He didn't come out. And while the camera was filming behind the curtain, the candidates made their way towards the stage. Poor old Dr. Carson did not hear his name being called. So old Doc Carson remained where he was, behind the curtain, standing like a schmendrick back there. All the others are marching up for the diplomas, and this poor kid is sitting there, didn't even hear his name being called. I'm sitting there saying, God, Ben, they called your name already. And so he didn't know what to do. Next comes Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, instead of tapping Dr. Carson on the shoulder and being a decent human being and telling him his name was already called, proceeded to make a smirking, dismissive, whatever type of expression on his face, and just left poor old Doc Carson behind. No one told him that he was called. So what happened next? Next comes Donald Trump, who people call mean, right? Just like me. But he's actually the nicest guy on the stage, just as I am. And Trump sees Carson standing there like a clueless schmendrick. And instead of stepping over him like a dead body, like Cruz just did, what does Trump do? He stands next to Carson, and he talks to him, cluing him in that his name was called. And Trump waits with Carson. He ushers him to go ahead of him. And then Trump follows suit in the order the names have been called. Did you notice any of this? Did any of you actually notice this behind the stage? All the other candidates stepped over the dead body of Carson, so to speak. Trump stopped there and said, hey, Dr. Carson, or whatever it could have been, you know, your name was called, but, you know, you didn't hear it, so you go ahead of me. Could you believe this? So my listener says this was a behind-the-scenes glimpse into character. One, the Christian Cruz talks very well about his values, but does not seem to literally walk the talk. This incident being further proof. Trump, who speaks caustically at times, turns out is the one with a big heart and a sense of class and decency, who does many good things for which no one credits him for. This, to me, summed up the whole debate before it even began. It spoke volumes to me.